Welcome back to our conversation with Congresswoman Katherine Clark. She represents the 5th Congressional District of Massachusetts. And Congresswoman, Mark Williams, a Boston University finance professor, recently released a study that projected the Trump policies on tariffs, funding cuts, and immigration restrictions have the potential to severely damage the Massachusetts economy, costing tens of thousands of jobs. Is there anyone in this administration that you can reach out to for help in protecting our state's economic interests?
Oh, well, you know, we have not had great success in getting good partners, but we're going to keep trying because we have to. As we look across Massachusetts and across New England, we are in for some really hard times when people already feel like buying a home, affording childcare, making sure they can have access to the American dream is falling out of their reach. And we heard very clearly from the 24 elections that that was the issue. And what we are seeing is a Republican Party that won the trifecta of power and is walking away from that commitment to address those issues. We're seeing no proposals on how we can build more housing, make it more affordable, place it near jobs. We're seeing nothing about driving down the cost of childcare. And we're seeing these tariffs, whether it's on steel and lumber, causing housing costs and insurance of existing housing to go up even more, to looking at the costs of back-to-school shopping. Clothes, shoes, electronics, all are looking at potentially in the next year 30% price increases.
Because, you know, I think back to the days of Ted Kennedy, who was a staunch Democrat. His rhetoric was often harsh and pointed. That was a time of partisan combat in many ways. And yet, when an interest of the state was on the line, there were people in the agencies, in the White House, who he could work with. Is there no one like that now? Is it a complete shutout?
It is almost a complete shutout.
Wow.
And it is one of, there are so many challenging and deeply dangerous things about this time.
Yeah.
But Congress in the last 12 years that I have been there, and I came in a special election. I was the least senior person in the minority, but I found ways to work across the aisle. And most of the people that I were able to find that working relationship to come together, especially around the opioid crisis, have either left Congress because they don't see themselves reflected in the current GOP, or they are there and they have really transformed into political figures I don't recognize. So I believe it is my duty and responsibility to not give up and keep writing the letters, trying to find people who will give answers and come together. But when you are looking at an administration that is enabled wholesale by House Republicans, it is really hard to find that foothold where we can get back to working together. And you just look at one of the major attacks in our area, the attacks on Harvard and research, which is so critical to the economy and the innovation economy here in Massachusetts. It's like from the daily cost of things to our future of not only cures, but keeping that innovation economy alive here. All of it is being threatened.
Last thing, I'm going to challenge you here to take our final 30 seconds and tell me what lesson you and other Democrats have learned from what happened last fall that's going to help you win back the House next fall.
Yeah, we have learned that it is the cost of living, that we have to be the fighters for the tools of putting the American dream within reach, whether that's housing, childcare, making sure that people feel like if they are working hard, which they are, they're paying their fair share of taxes, they can get ahead. And that is the outrage of what we're seeing happening in Congress, that blatantly, cruelly taking away those tools and levers from American families when they told us clearly in 2024 they don't think the system is working for them, and they'll vote for someone who says they'll change it. And what they're now seeing is a betrayal of what they were told by the Republicans they would do and what they're actually doing. And it's up to us to be those fighters and make that connection with people here in Massachusetts and across the country.
You've got your work cut out for you. Please come back again in 6 months or so. Give us an update on how that's going and what we can expect as we head into the election year next year.
I would be delighted to. Thank you, John.
Thank you. That's Katherine Clark, Congresswoman from the 5th Congressional District and the House Minority Whip. That's all my time. Now it's back over to my colleagues for much more WBZ News.